Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 29 of Rannoch, our vanilla Boreal CS build. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We had a live stream recently where we renovated some awkward vanilla housing, decorated a really nice roundabout with the yin yang about was the name we came up with this, toward the end of the stream as well, alongside developing a city service kind of maintenance and depot yard really, which was a lot of fun. To repurpose some industrial zoning and service assets with some props into a really nice little space. So thank you for hanging out on the stream. However, today's episode is a big milestone for the city, the downtown road network frame. So before we build anything within our skyline, our central business district, the main city, downtown core centre where our skyline will be made up of, is we need to put down a road frame first, because the assets we're going to use are going to draw a lot of people, and we want to make sure the infrastructure, both public transport and road infrastructure, is there to support it. And this is always a lot of fun. It's a nice kind of starter, if you like, to the main course that is the Skyline episode, which will fall nicely at episode 30. Otherwise, let's get started with the downtown road network frame, shall we? One of my favourite episodes to make these. So we're going to start with this tram road under the main bridge. Now I can't wait to see this bridge almost featured as kind of part of the skyline really, isn't it? Which is going to be really fun. So yeah, I just want it to come out at a slightly different angle, more toward this way really. And then it can head down towards the coastline. So with our coast, this area is pretty flat already. So I really want to kind of keep the shape if I can with it. There's always going to be lots of keys around here. Now I wouldn't mind a little bit of green space between key kind of green belt main arterial road skyline buildings is kind of the layering pattern I'm thinking of here. Let's draw this across. We'll go level zoning on for this. We're going to try stick to units of 10 for the most part as well. So with this road coming straight off the waterfront, I just want it to connect into this one here now. We'll leave them as straight as possible for as long as we can. That should be okay there. Cool, so this is going to connect in with another interchange which we need to build in today as well. This is going to sit over here by the highways and the rail, which we'll need to rework. So let's make that a priority connection. I think just as we approach this fertile land here, I might install just a little bit of traffic distribution here, and perhaps a smaller roundabout using the one-way roads, and we'll keep cycling here as well. We have it on the arterial. I think let's do 4. That one's going to connect in there. That's going to be no problem. So I'm going to do 4 here, and then I'm going to actually use this opportunity to remove the tram from this district, because it'll be going into the city centre here rather than following the arterial, which will eventually head back to the highway, which obviously is not where we want our trams to be. There will eventually be other methods of public transport supporting this way down here, maybe a monorail or something. Not use monorail yet, but that'll be when we come to build out here. Wonderful. So we'll connect the road in here to the interchange. Let's rip out current rail infrastructure. Cool. So previously I would have had to build my own interchange here, but courtesy of the wonderful Teddy Radko, let's carry on exploring his DLC interchanges, which are very, very nice. So we want something in this sort of shape, I think. This is kind of what I'm thinking I want to go for. Pretty much there, I think, is pretty much that is what I'm after, I think. We'll slope down there, but we can easily blend that in. We've got the room to work that in here. And then hopefully our bridge should pass quite nicely over this. Don't worry about the death wave in the background as well. There was just some full cemeteries. That is starting to clear off. So we know we need to feature in a rail line through here too. So let's bring this. I think we'll actually go up to 12 meters with this. And then let's just find a tasty point to draw out from. That's a bridge, isn't it? So no matter how high this is, I won't be able to get that over, will I? No, that's fine then. So the rail will have to go on the outside. Which is okay. It's slightly further away, but I don't mind that. And then again, once upon a time, well, at some point in the fairly distant future, we'll get out to this side of the map and develop that rail further, but for right now, that connection will do. And then let's reinstate this one because it is an important intercity connection. There we go. Let's get the highways plugged back in as well. So interchange is installed. Let's trim back some frames of Ashby Gardens, which will likely bring to a close here now. Shout out to our wonderful tier 3 patron as well, Dave, of course. And now let's bring this road all the way down. Again, this will just continue to be a key arterial for this direction. That can go... I guess we don't need to pay the upkeep for that right now, do we? It's going to cost quite a lot. It's a big 6-lane beast. And then down here again as well. I'm going to feed that straight in. I don't think I want to do an interchange here, or a roundabout, sorry. I think we'll just do some more sort of little slip lanes around here as we begin to grow out this area. Since this is the downtown, we'll also help it with a bit of asymmetry too, with some larger turning roads here at the entrance to the junction. Good. Let's get this plugged in. That's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, there you go. I was just thinking, I wonder how many people are going to come and use this straight away. This is a 6-lane on the interchange, but I think we will actually reform it to become the 4-lane we're running through the downtown. And let's just get a nice little curve on that road guideline there as well. Special. So I'm going to keep the traffic lights at the exits to the interchange too. But when I actually want to remove some of them here. Open up our routes, turn off that one there. We'll keep this one, I think. Yeah, keep those two as well. So this will be a lot of fun to decorate during our D-Time time-lapse day, of course. Trains can continue now. That's going to be a really cool sightline, isn't it? These elevated networks passing through. We will also need to peel another one off of this as well, because I do want an intercity train stop in the downtown itself. Wonderful. So let's re-examine what we have now. So we have our road here. We have some traffic distribution, which will definitely bring into the areas here and send off down this way as well. But now let's bring in this pedestrian road, which is the next kind of obvious connection, isn't it? So this is coming out of our downtown. Now kind of re-evaluating this, we could actually send trams across this. We could extend this line today. So then this line would run all the way from the tram interchange over here. This is where it terminates, of course, with the trolley buses. So then we could have this line basically start from here and then run all the way right into the heart of the city centre. Which would be a nice first-person tour one day, I'm sure, as well, won't it? So let's get that in first. I think we'll run with that. So this tram... This pedestrian road will hold trams for some of its length. And if we just send you straight down, are we happy with that? Slightly we'll make it a bit fancier. We're going to try and hide little kink as discreetly as possible. I think I can get away with that. I think that's what I prefer there. Yeah, and then we can kind of form the road structure really off of this as well. Cool, so that's wonderful. Let's remind ourselves we want trams here. We'll make... then again, we can't have elevated tram pedestrian bridge coming up. No, we can. I just need to redraw it for some reason. It won't upgrade again, but that's fine. We can do that. And then we'll have the trams run a little bit of the pedestrian road, and then probably that's fairly in the middle, isn't it? We'll go with that. That seems okay, and then it can be tree-lined for the rest of it. So where I want these trams to come to is going to be kind of Rannoch's central hub with a lot of the towers and the downtown around. And that's going to reside around a particular asset, which is going to be the best transport asset in the game. Bad Peanuts Metro Plaza Station, which is incredible. Absolutely love this asset. So I want this to be a real key feature of the downtown, of course. Rannoch is using lots of Metro, so this is kind of the crowning Metro jewel, if you like. I may just want it to be in and around this sort of central square plaza here. Let's bring in some roads to factor this in. So why don't we run it from this one here? So I'm going to send big tree line road up. I can probably connect him with that pedestrian road bridge at some point. And I think we'll move down to small 4-lane road here. I still want plenty of traffic capacity. So we're going to have our greenbelt towers all along here. And then set back a little bit, I think, from the road. Maybe 5 tiles. Let's do 20 units. And then we're going to have that here, I think. So orientation's pretty important here as to where I want these other lines to go. I think I'm happy with them in that configuration. That should be okay. And then let's get this wrapped up as well, of course. And we can probably, well, I think we will today, because we might as well while we're doing the metro lines, is actually get this thing plugged in so we can see the lines, especially on the bottom platforms, will all come from the current existing ones. But how many do we actually have to plug in? Let's go ahead and check the current metro configuration. Go around. We got one here. There's one there. And that's it coming into this one, isn't there? That one needs to be extended down here now. We can do that. And this one stops at Atlantic. Yep, that goes all the way through. Splits there, doesn't it? So let's get all these metro lines plugged into that central hub. Now we can move the lines, which is tremendously exciting. Of course, if you are following along, don't forget to add them back. And this one can come over here now too. So this is going to be fantastic. I think with these two top level lines, we're going to send a parallel almost metro coupler out this way to run very wide either way here, or until the build stops. And then we'll also send them, I think, together under the water, again kind of as another arterial bundle really, crossing the strait here. So it connects with the metro infrastructure this side, which will continue to be just as kind of metro dense as the rest of the city has been so far, I think. So that is tremendously exciting, and there arrives the first train. So, see if anyone gets off, shall we? Oh yes, there we go. Hello people. I imagine you'll just be getting back on the train, won't you? You will. That's okay though. Eventually you'll come out. There'll be something for you to do here next episode. Please do come back. Fantastic. Already. That looks fantastic, doesn't it? Absolutely love that. Brilliant. I love this asset. This is it. This is the build done, isn't it? Let's thank you all so much for watching, everyone. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day. No, of course, I'm joking. Let's get on with it. Let's talk about the road structure in this smaller pocket and what's going to happen around here. It will also expand the grid, of course, but I would like some accessibility from the massive interchange that we have over here. It's such a key feature of the downtown. And I think it makes sense if a few of these roads just peeled off. So let's get the rest of this grid formed up. This will go pretty much to the end here, I imagine. I think we just follow that tree line back onto the arterial. Yeah, I think we can. It's fine. And then within the rest of this, I want to use, of course, lots of parking roads. We'll also keep this 4-lane running too. We'll actually run that straight into that junction there too. And then form up some more zonable grids through this space here. Leaving larger chunks, of course. Remember, a lot of this is going to be unit buildings, so I want the footprint here. As a little bit of a teaser, I know one asset already. Well, I know a lot of them, but I know one of them in particular that I would like to place, and I know where I want it to sit. That's going to be the servicing officers. Oh, would you look at that? Just one tile off. We can't get it in that way, but yeah, I wanted it there really. That's fine though. We can make that fit. So as an example, I want these grids to be fairly wide because they're going to be holding our larger buildings. But I know the servicing offices, I really want this to be a... This is a gorgeous building at night time, this one. Should we just throw it on for preview's sake? I think we should, right? Yeah. For some reason, for Rannoch Skyline, this building visible from the bridge. We're going to look at Jacksonville quite a bit if you want a bit of a preview. Some very unique towers on the waterfront there, but yeah, we can have that in there. And there's a bit of a preview. Oh, that's going to be good, isn't it? It's going to be good when it's in, but that is next episode's eggs jump. Yeah, we won't tease ourselves anymore with it today. It's hard, isn't it? But we can deal with it. So now I've got these established. I want this 4-lane road hierarchy structure to continue. Let's do it on... Might as well do it on this one, hadn't we? Let's move this connection over. Then I want this to come up. And then I don't want to make a massive song and dance out of this. I just want it to be just some relatively kind of discrete slip lanes that come off and merge in. Even actually kind of perfect opportunity there, isn't it? If we can bring it down just where the bridge touches back down to earth. We can have this that goes straight down. And then what I will do is actually upgrade a section of this again to be downtown road. Maybe not to that point, we'll realign where the zonable road ends, and then just have this kind of downtown grid form up around it, where there will be some zoning, of course. We'll not use unit buildings for literally every building. And we can break that off there. Cool. And then our grid will start to form together around these slip roads. This direction here is another obvious choice. We've definitely got the room for it as well. So let's bring that one down. Let's grab our one-way road again. So again, just before you turn to bridge, let's bring off another little and snake through and under, which should look very nice. I'm sure we'll really come to appreciate those layers. And again, zonable road back in that way. Fantastic. Wonderful. So when you actually come to drive on this bridge, it should almost be quite a claustrophobic drive, shouldn't it? You're almost surrounded by towers as you're passing through the interchange. It should be pretty special. I think I really look forward to that. They do, of course, need to be one-way roads as well, where the ramps are coming off, so that section has to be one-way, as does this one here. Again, it's likely you probably won't zone right here, you know, otherwise you'd have to leave the city this way, and it'd just be a bit awkward. If they want to get back to it, they've got to come back on the highway just to come all the way back through here, so we'll be careful with where exactly people have to drive from, really. Special, let's map out the rest of this grid around here as well. Cool, so as we approach this different angle where the grid's gonna switch up, really, which will be nice for the design, I'd like to add some roads in here. So I think we're going to keep the pedestrian vibe, almost as though once upon a time this was kind of a through arterial road, but since then has gone on to become just this more modern pedestrianised street. And we'll have this run, I think, pretty much all the way through the downtown, this huge pedestrian road right through the middle. Up to this asset here, which we might even... I'm just thinking really what we're going to do with that. No, we'll keep this one as road connection. Pedestrians can start there, that's fine. But we also now know where we want our trams to come in, so we could do the trams. Look at that, they're changing the lines, isn't that cool? Sorry to get distracted from the trams, but love seeing that. That's such a satisfying thing. After 65,000 citizens and already so much progress across Rannoch, right? See them arrive in the downtown and switch over to these two lines that run all the way back through that somewhere. That's very satisfying. Even after 9 years, I still get that happiness from that. Wonderful. At least play Transport Fever. Regardless, let's do this. So let's do some trams. So I'm thinking we'll do... Where do we want to bring them in? Thinking we could do them maybe down the main road. I certainly want to keep them on the pedestrian road. I think we'll try something a bit different through here. So we are going to have multiple tram lines converging here. There's the one we talked about over this way. And I imagine the one that also stops here, which is going to go down this way, will also pass back through the downtown as well. That's like very forward tram planning. So with that in mind, why don't we see if we can do a nice little design. So I think with our tram road, we're going to have this 2 tiles either side. And then let's have our tram only roads going up. Pretty much what I want. That'll give us a really nice design aesthetic out here with people. Especially since this is the entrance of the Metro Plaza, they'll leave directly in front of the trams. So that should be incredible. We could even pedestrianise this street here, actually. And then this road here wants to be tram and trees. We'll do that. And then we'll probably do that one as well. Cool. And then 4-lane with tram there, and that allows a 4 tram loop to complete. So let's get this bridge redrawn, and then we'll get the trams moving too. Super. So this is some very serious tram renovation, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. The tram now comes over to the station, and then we need to tell it to stop in here on its way through. Yeah, that's fine. And then on its way back, it can just stop in the park. That's going to be cool. And then at some point in time, there will be another one here that can run down this road, and then over here at some point. Some major tram renovations there, but goodness gracious, am I enjoying it. There's a lot of traffic lights to turn up around here too. So here they come. Really interested to see actually. Just how many choose to come and grab the tram. Get back to the stadium. This downtown's going to be so alive. There's going to be lots of vehicles and people. Very much looking forward to it. Should we change the trees while we wait? Let's do... We want to get too dominant. Let's keep it tasteful. Linden. I think every time we want to gonna go too over the top, Linden is always the call, isn't it? Let's do Linden. Through here something a bit more extravagant. Maybe 4-wheel pine. Is that rude? It's a little bit intrusive, but I do like it. That's fine. Oh, it really comes together, doesn't it, when you you start upgrading the trees here. What's this tree called? Generic pine tree. Maybe we can call this the generic mile. This big pedestrianised street that cuts through the heart of the city centre. Might be pretty cool, right? Let's get a feel for what it's going to be like stood in downtown Rannoch as well. You probably won't be able to see the bridge because there'll be towers here at some point. But you can definitely see back to these things over here. Yeah, the Geth Hub. Some of the Green City residential. Big shopping centre. See the stadiums, of course, the high density around that. Really cool. God, isn't it just... We just make this the rest of the video. Just looking at city skylines on. Love it. I love downtowns. I feel like the city really starts. Like, life begins at the downtown, you know? Doesn't begin at 40. It begins when you start your downtown. Tremendous. This is absolutely wonderful. An elevated train station was also something I wanted over here for an intercity stop. So let's take a look at our intercity options, or elevated options rather. My favourite is this one, the Bad Peanut one. No, sorry, no, this isn't the Bad Peanut one, is it? This is the one from the Plazas and Promenades DLC. But I feel like a peanut one would be better here. And then the other options, of course, would be Bad Peanuts assets, which are very nice and do come with wonderful car parking. Yeah, I think it's got to be one of them, hasn't it? They're just very nice. How we're going to fit this in and around our central hub, though, which is where I would ideally like it to arrive, is another question. Looks like we can take out a bit of the road hierarchy there, doesn't it? Oh, this is the 4-lane one, though, isn't it? I guess we could always knock that over. We could have the train station here. Then we could have some towers this way. We're only losing this little local inner city road, which I'm not massively precious about anyway. Something like that. Obviously that road's gonna have to go, but that's okay. I don't know. I think it has to go. Let me just see it. I have to see it first. So I'll have to see this without the roads around it first. It's not quite centralised either, is it? But I think in the grand scheme of things, you can't really tell, can you? Oh, that's such a cool aesthetic, isn't it? Just the big station opening up from the plaza like that. Well, I guess I don't need this road here. We can reroute the roads on and off. Yeah, it's fine. I think we're going to prioritise the train station. Let's get this connected into the intercity line. So again, we can already watch some intercity trains arrive into the downtown, hopefully. In terms of where this is going to go, it's obviously going to cut through the skyline. But this kind of is the priority. So I'm going to actually run the train line first, and then the grid can form around it. This is going to come straight out the downtown, hopefully right over the highway. Can we find a happy place to connect in? It's going to have to be a little bit curvy, but think these high-speed rail networks kind of look better like that anyway. They're very, very nice and modern, aren't they? Cool. That's another line for the in-city connection. And just going to turn that straight the way through. Seems like a pretty sensible way to do it, doesn't it? Fantastic. So this probably won't have passenger trains here. Unless we do want to carry running it out this way. New developments. There is a train line over here. So, we could send that train line through the downtown as well, which will make the downtown look really cool, because we'll have this high-speed elevated rail cutting all the way through it, which will be a fantastic drive as well. We'll need that train line there. And then this can run also parallel with the bridge too. I'm going to have to lose some local road configurations, but it's fine. That can all be moved over by a tile. I really want the rail to kind of remain straight out of the station for the aesthetic I'm thinking about here. And then essentially this just to join the bridge as it begins its ascent, and we can probably bring this up as well. And swing that up to 18 meters. Maybe a bit more smoothing in there. Maybe swing that up to 15 meters as we come around the bridge. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do, right? And then that can run parallel with the metro over the straight. Yes, please, everyone. This is happening. Well, colour me excited, everyone, because that's just so cool. That worked out incredibly. So, drawn in first draft, it's pretty straight. It's actually not too bad at all. Which usually have to go back and trim these things back a little bit. But it's worked. It has worked. Somehow there is still enough room for the boats to go through. I really hope I'm not colliding with the shipping lane. That would irritate me. Can we check? Where is the shipping lane? It's right through there, but the suspension bridge was already there, so it should be alright. Well, then again, I guess they are. It's fine. It's fine. Just ignore it. It'll be fine. Wonderful. So one day, this is going to be just amazing, isn't it, right? How cool is this going to be one day with all the trains and the metro and the road passing over there? Almost like a homage like to Vanilla Thessia, isn't it? Accidentally as well. I didn't really think that was going there today, but here I am, surprised. So we need to rework this stuff a little bit around here now. We'll do that in a sec as well. So with this stuff, I think I can still connect into this. It just has to be at a slightly different angle, which I'm happy to do. We'll just kind of break the symmetry a little bit, but we can make it part of the design, no problem. And then we can reform the rest of that around there. And then with this space, this will just be more grid as well, because I really want this to be quite a wide downtown. Now, in terms of how we're going to split it, I think we're going to do some more oldie town stuff as an excuse to use our second university, which will be the Liberal Arts College. I think this will blend quite nice with some European zoning, some European uniques, and make a bit of an old town out of the campus as a project. So that'll lie, I think, over here near the coast. We've also got the old lighthouse as well, which is going to be a really cool park feature, I think. We'll have that over there. So let's sort out some loose remaining frames from our current configurations. So with this one here, I think we'll just knock the road we did have here up to the back of the station. And then that can just join in with the pedestrian road. Because there is actually kind of a backside to this station, so having a road here totally makes sense. And then we can trim off some of this stuff. And basically just run this to replace the line that we got rid of for the train as such. Super, that's this area. So with this one here, a lot of this is going to be our kind of, well, what I'm planning to be our older town. With most of it being filled, I think, with liberal arts campus assets. Of course, making sure we save space for our big ones like the School of Education, the School of Environmental Studies, and the School of Economics, hopefully all making up part of the downtown. That is quite a high-level university. We don't have tons of it, but I think what we can do at some point is trim back our Mercer Institute. I did expand some assets over here to sit on the main street. So we can possibly remove them and just bring our university education down a bit. Of course, also not forgetting that as we zone the downtown, the population is going to increase. So we will naturally come across more university demand in that regard as well, I think. But that for this space. And then in terms of the waterfront, I think we're going to grab smaller 4-lane road. And then let's get some nice angled curves here. Let's go straight for a little bit. And then we'll have this one come down here. I think because we have the lighthouse at this point, that was brought into the map. I'd love to make like an older, not like a full-on cargo port, kind of like an older town marina, maybe using some fishing harbour assets. Something that this lighthouse used to function for. Kind of before the main kind of multi-global, national kind of monstrous cargo harbour sits here at some point. Kind of like a older town harbour around here might be quite cute, I think. Just to give a bit more purpose to that lighthouse. So I have that there. Where does that hill begin to rise up here? Let's turn our topography height. So we've got quite a bit of leeway actually, don't we? So let's give some respect to these topographical lines around the bottom. And then I reckon we'll just feed this off. And this will probably be our old kind of marina road, right? Kind of a smaller 4-lane number before big wide roads were really a thing. This was a dirt track at some point that's been kind of tarmacked, maybe a bit of a historical old town around here with smaller roads. Using the lighthouse and the hills and whatnot, I think that might be quite a nice unique feature for the downtown, I think. And then with this stuff here, this will just become our downtown grid, essentially. That's just going to run all the way with the rail, isn't it? It is indeed. But we'll get that mapped out in our time lapse, but I don't want to do too much. We'll also want to make sure that buildings like Old Market Street are welcome in the downtown. We probably won't have it right there, but as a bit of a proof of concept. So I don't really want the high-speed rail right through the European Old Town, so maybe we'll move this kind of a bit further over here, maybe. But yeah, these kind of assets, I think, with the Liberal Arts College, I think it should make for a very nice kind of distinctive old-style red roof sort of district. Now, if we actually have a look at the Welcome to Rannoch sign, there's one over here, isn't there? I would love to try and bring in some of the design we had here with kind of looks like a bit of a cathedral there. Some older, more European style buildings with larger towers behind. So I'd love to try and even factor this into the design of the skyline at some point. Well, next episode, when we actually come to build it. But hopefully you can see what I'm getting at with that there anyway. Either way, let's move into our road time lapse. I'm also going to do some detailing. I think I also want to bring the second tram down here as well, of course. Now we have this tram. I might slightly rework this tram intersection here as well, as it's not quite functioning how I'd like it. And then remove tram roads where they're not supposed to be, like here, for example. And then probably bring some cycling through the downtown as well, to coincide with existing infrastructure. By the way, let's move into a road expansion and tidying time lapse as part of our downtown preparations, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little look over the infrastructure plan that we put in place ready for our skyline next episode. So I really love how it sits in. Let's zoom out here and get a bit of a grander picture as to what's developed. So we'll start out here. You may have noticed in the detailing time lapse I trialed a building here. We'll talk about this more next episode when we come to develop the skyline. But a very interesting shape here regardless. But yeah, we'll talk about that next episode. We'll just expanded all the frames here out of Ashby Gardens. Likely the suburb will continue to run to this bit. Create a bit more of a wider intersection here. Where we're not really sure what's going to lead off up here yet. This is kind of much future building as we get out here. I imagine the kind of suburban flow, if you like, is probably going to stop with these networks here, and then this will become just wild, rugged Rannoch terrain. Maybe the occasional little build out here, but we'll see what happens, of course. And then back towards the interchange. With the highway, I've lined it with a thick tree barrier, which almost kind of makes it look like it's a city effort to kind of integrate the highway into the city, doesn't it? Like, oh, let's just surround it with trees and it'll be fine. No one will complain. But it actually gives a very unique aesthetic, doesn't it? But kind of in this perspective here, kind of the tree-lined highway. So I think we'll keep that in as the downtown grows up around it. And just some very light detailing, tree patterns and bush patterns around the interchange. Again, how great are these interchanges from Teleradco? Just an enormous quality of life improvement to have some ploppable service interchanges like this just to throw down whenever you need one. So this should be really nice and hold up some decent downtown traffic. Of course, once those buildings come in, and then this road tapers off down here, and of course there will be things to come down here, likely with another interchange at some point as well, connecting this road here with this one, with another service interchange in a pretty similar fashion down there. So pretty much everything we've been doing so far, you know, every interchange we've put in has been an effort to take pressure off the one a little bit further down the road, and that will continue as we come down here as well. With the roads around here, not too much expansion, some more organic grid spaces using the frames we had already. And we can see a train. Imagine how cool this is going to be, right, when it's passing through all the towers. A very modern, kind of almost Asian style build, wearing it with kind of the bullet trains flying through the skyline. Should be really fun. Of course, this will change. I know this is too steep. Don't worry, train please. That won't remain the same forever. And we'll likely embank it as it leaves the downtown. And then further into the city centre, the trams from all the way at the start of the city. Actually, this is... Hold on, it is, isn't it? This is the purple tram line, yeah. So the purple tram line that comes all the way over to Shaflantic City, all the way through here, now goes into the downtown. So super, super mega long tram line. I'd actually love to know just how big it is. Yeah, 22 kilometres. It's a big one. And I reckon we'll change this as well. This isn't going to Adlam Square anymore. This is going to Rannoch Central Business District, back to the 3 regional airport. So that line has actually evolved. So this might be our first person tour. I'm planning to do some first person tours over Christmas. I will definitely do this train loop. But I think that tram line now, with where it runs all the way into the city centre, is going to be such a cool one to follow, isn't it? Back at the central hub, we've added in some more tram roads around our existing tram stop. And this will be really fun to detail once we come in here and start placing down our major skyline. But multiple trams converging now, you can see here, which is just such a treat. People moving between different metro lines, and of course, as the downtown grows out, we'll add more metro stops in these spots, and it will come and just spread further across Rannoch, just making this place even more busy as time goes on. Already it's at 377 with nothing here, so that's really cool. And of course, we do have our intercity station as well, which there are a few people lingering around here. So that's always nice to have an in-city connection. I did also trial a intercity bus stop around here, but I think we'll put that in during our skyline episode itself, since it's kind of a main building. And then the grid has just filled the space we had between our arterials and the highway. You can get a kind of an example here of how it shifts and kind of bends and approaches from different angles, leaving some larger spaces for larger assets to come in. But of course, this is all subject to change. Kind of treat it very much as just that initial structure before you start building in like proper high density. So it's something I found so useful, especially in vanilla CS, for managing traffic and just planning ahead, really. And I'm a huge fan of this combination of 2 tram lines, metro hub and intercity train station here. Just great little central design that for our area, isn't it? I really can't wait to get stuck into this next episode. Over here, our train line now transcends up and over the hill to actually come to another outside connection. Again, this is likely to change. Well, especially this configuration, because obviously we need to bring the roads out at some point. But it'll be a little while yet before we're over here, so just giving some more in-city connections. If we can see a train passing over here, isn't that exciting? That's so cool. It's like really, it's like more Teddy Radko at home, isn't it? Really sweet. So just really love this. All the networks coming together to cross over the bridge. Is that a really cool aesthetic? Super, super happy with it. And then of course, yeah, they are arriving into intercity connections over here. Plenty of people actually departing the train station. That, yes please. So you're going to see where they go. Say they're going to take the metro or they're going to take the tram. I was thinking we could probably stop the tram out here, couldn't we? That'd probably be a good shout. Yeah, so already you can see that convergence, right? As more towers and buildings and zonings come around here, this is only going to get busier, which is so exciting. Absolutely love it. I love seeing this asset busy. We had it in Ilos, Orchid Bay, after a renovation, of course. We even went back and dropped it into Palaven, didn't we? I think, if I remember rightly. Bavaria had it as well. Such a cool asset. I think the only city that hasn't had it is New Bioke, if I'm correct in saying that. Thessia as well, of course. Thessia doesn't have it. But either way, yes, that kind of ties it all up. And then over here, I did some terraforming. I really want to make a cool viewpoint here. We'll turn this into a park area, get some seatings and some viewpoints up here. But you can see all the way to the regional airport over there, the oil rigs. All of Shaflantic City even has its own skyline now, doesn't it? How cool is that? And then oil refinery, all the start of the city here. All the way back round where it gets real dense. And then back into, of course, downtown Rannoch, which will have really superb views to the skyline from here. And especially over these bridges too. We'll probably even trim back a few of these trees just to clear up that viewpoint. So just planning out some initial park space around here. Then all the waterfront has been keyed up, which again I think we'll just keep it as nice walkable green space kind of in the shadow of all those downtown towers as they get introduced next episode. But a really fun downtown network frame, and I hope you can see the benefit of doing it. Just mapping out this initial public transport and road infrastructure in vanilla CS is so helpful for me at least. So I hope you managed to pick up some tips today as to how you can kind of prep your downtowns before you actually start placing the buildings. Next episode, of course, will be the downtown skyline, which is always one of my favourite episodes. I absolutely love kind of putting the CBD together. I think it really adds just the cherry on top to a city, and then everything around that, you just kind of like, oh, what's the view to the skyline like? So, really looking forward to getting into it. Either way, thank you so much for watching. A massive shout out to the patrons that support the channel with a special roll call to our golden eggs, Andrew Perez, Louis Adlam, Phoenix MD, and Oh Hey Casino. You're all legends if you'd like to get involved in that. Links down below to Instant Gaming and Patreon are the best ways to support the channel. I'm not sure when this goes out, but there will be kind of a little bit of a lapse in videos over the Christmas period as I enjoy some time away from the computer and some time with my family. So don't expect the full roster of videos, but we will certainly hammer out Rannoch. I think I'd like to get the Skyline episode out maybe for Christmas Day. We'll kind of see how my pre-recording goes. But either way, please do enjoy some cinematics of the new infrastructure, just ready to be built in. Can't wait to get stuck in next episode. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.